thought you would have said that you should not, the minority should not be dictating the agenda, and that you need to get back there. They are not going to agree to any further delays. So if you don't get, are you working, somebody actively working, I guess, on improving this amendment right now, and you'll just come back when that's ready to offer?
We're actively investigating it from a legal matter, and the answer is yes. We found out case law does not support the findings of the LSA. So that's one revelation we've discovered, and that takes some time. So yes, we are actively working to see that happen. It's a process that's had to be done in many other referenda. They've had numerous referenda over many issues, and they always begin with the fact that you can't do that, and they always find a way to do it.
Someone was
If case law
statewide?
doesn't support the LSA opinion.
Excuse me?
If case law doesn't support the LSA opinion, then what's to keep you from coming on the floor and presenting the amendment?
Because they did say, even knowing, I guess we have to assume they knew that. First of all, when LSA writes a bill, the assumption is they're doing it in a constitutional manner. So it takes well, it's many process. You have to see how Taft-Hartley affects what you're about to do, and you have to, of course, we've already looked at the part of case law, but then you have to see, I guess you might look at how you devise it so it won't be challenged, and so that when you have that vote, the vote is not on the Constitution, but it's on whether the people have the right to have input on this important law, and that's what we have to get the assurance of. We don't want to be blindsided again on this issue.
Is your caucus prepared to sustain these fines as the amendment is investigated?
Well, first of all, we take a view of it as an impediment to free speech. I was speaker. They did a 2-week walkout, and I didn't find anybody. The previous Republican speaker had an 11-day walkout. He didn't find anybody. Because basically, we don't think that is under the Constitution something a speaker can do. So that'll be contested. But, you know, sometimes you have to endure pain to serve the public. We don't like it, I'll say that.
Will those fines do anything to bring your members back more quickly than they would come back otherwise?
Our goal is to have this bill given the possibility of having the public have a chance to have input. That's what brings us back.
Back to the fines for a minute. The speaker said that he has ordered the deductions starting today from your expense checks, which goes against the initial court ruling you guys won last year. Can you seek any sort of court order to stop that, or will you?
Yes, we can.
Will you?
Yes, we will.
Will you have a lawyer on the way to court?
Well, we have been, as you know, in court, and the judge has said and questioned the validity of doing it. As you know from your own check, if your employer took away your check because he didn't like the way you photographed somebody or asked a question, you would have not only a court case, but you might even have a prosecutable case, because there's money that's also involved called taxes, FICA, and different things. So it's really goes way beyond what you have the power to do as any employer, let alone a public employer.
When will that happen? When will you go to court over this?
Sooner than later,
Today?
possibly. Yes. We just learned about this. Yes, I'm going to say yes.
Okay, today. On the referendum, you said there's been many others. Have you found any case of a statewide referendum as opposed to a local issue referendum?
Well, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder and how you describe something. Yes, I think when you apply a referendum to every little township, and big towns are in the state, that's a statewide referendum. When you apply that to every school corporation, certain duties and they have to have a referendum to increase their property tax, or referendum to do something, it's a statewide application. And all of those, they had to be very careful in the construction. And so, there's no question that, once a little cloud is moved over these things, you have to go look at the reconstruction of what you did.
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. So you want to come up with an amendment that LSA says has no constitutional issues? Is that the goal here, or how do you measure
Well,
whether what
we
you come up
certainly
with
don't
is
want
okay?
the cloud over an amendment that we present, yes, that is close. Yes, I'd have to say yes.
Okay, so after you have an amendment that LSA says has no constitutional issues, then you all come back?
Yes.
And seek a vote on it?
Yes.
And if they don't let you offer that amendment, saying it wasn't prepared in a timely manner, or there's a bill pending, then what happens?
Well,
He's been here too long.
yeah,